He needs his recaf today. He's running on fumes, unfortunately. But
Dude, that
hello,
blood drinking shit is getting tired. Old. Words are hard.
hello, and welcome everyone back to the Dumbass class for the next episode of Toast to the God Emperor's Light. Last time, our team had finished up their business on the world below. Fortunately, they had remembered to collect their merchandise, their delivery. I was kind of hoping you guys would forget, but you didn't.
I was partially hoping we'd be bringing a lot of dead bodies. Also, my toast today is with coffee.
What? What? Why did you? Why would we bring bodies?
You have one body, at the very least. You do have a prisoner in your
He's a...
hold.
Wait, we have a prisoner?
Yeah.
I thought
That-
Ghost offed him.
No, I knocked him unconscious.
Alright.
You guys didn't want me to kill him. I'm like, I don't want to get killed for this. So, bang.
And you had docked with the rogue trader ship, the Fall of Sin. We'd ended last episode off with you in their docking bay. You would note, as you look through the windows of the craft, through the turrets perhaps, that this dock is very Spartan. There's no other crafts in here, but everything does look of high quality. Like, you don't see large oil spills, you don't see like tatty boxes of useless crap lying around. Everything's stored away and is very neat and tidy. It almost gives you the idea that this might be for visitors. It's not just a general docking bay for the ships.
As far as I know, me and Amanda are still guarding the fucking package.
Yeah, I know.
Did we get our new gear yet, or did we,
No, it's next planet.
You will get that once you reach the planet of, and I can tell you the planetary system, not that one. Okay, maybe I can't. Where did that go? There it is. You will be going to... Actually, I'll save that for once you get your reports, because, oh dear, Roll20's gone very slow.
Oh god, you're not gonna make us do paperwork, are you?
I'd probably already be doing that paperwork.
I
I mean,
think
in
you've
character,
already done it.
in character, my character would be doing paperwork, but out of character,
I
that
think
was
you've already
really a
done.
misfire of an idea.
I think you've already done it. I think you've already done your paperwork. You had time on the planet to do so. But no, you were offered to have a meal with the captain and meet the captain of the ship. If you wish, you do need to give a reply, and one of your pilots or co-pilots will send the message through.
Amanda will accept it.
Sure, I have nothing better to do. Meeting the captain sounds like fun.
I'll drag the vampire, or ghost, sorry, with me if he doesn't accept.
I'll come with you. As long as we let the Arbites gut package is okay.
Oh yeah, is Sheriff Piggyman with us?
Yes.
I'd also offer the rest of you help with paperwork if you think you need it.
Also, sorry if my Khajiit accent slips into Russian sometimes.
A Russian
No
Khajiit.
worries.
Duh, this will work.
Yes, he's best ghost. Yes, Slavic ghost.
Arbite
Full of the spirit
Matthews
of vodka.
appears to be preparing to undock. It seems as if he's been invited as well. No, I'm only joking. He's staying on the ship. He's a mutant. He's not going to be going to the captain's table. So,
Pretty
yeah.
sure the captain wouldn't like the pig man around him. No offense to the pig man, but
I mean,
come
rope
on.
traders come in all walks of life, so No, maybe he
Yeah.
has like a low-key mutant in his retinue.
It's possible.
No offense to the piggy man, but he's disgusting.
Nah, you're just prejudiced.
No, that's just after he thrusted in the air and said that he wanted to climb me, I was like, yeah, no.
Ghost is objectively disgusted by this person, so yeah.
Says the guy who drinks fucking blood with his coffee.
I
Hypocrite
need my
much?
vitamin D supplements. I come from a death world that is fucking tidally locked.
So by all means, you can pass the message on to one of your pilots, and they will vox the ship and let them know that. Well, ask them to inform you when dinner will be ready and to send someone down to escort you.
Okay.
I believe you had already set off into the warp. The ship was already underway, as I remember from last time. So, not
I think we were essentially like they were only waiting for us to pick up to bring the stuff in before they left. I think.
Roll for possible Gellerfield complications.
Oh god, are we doing
fortunately
this shit again?
Fortunately, you're on a very stable warp path. This route is in Imperial space in a subsector.
It doesn't
Within-
matter. The navigator can't bash us into a rock.
Generally speaking, within subsectors, you're not traveling biblically large distances, and you are still in. Oh, actually, you are going to a different subsector. So,
Excellent. I would like to ask to extend our travel path from the Halo stars all the way to Holy Terror.
yeah, unfortunately, you're a long way out from Holy Terror.
I'm pretty sure we're gonna have to swap trains along the way. It's just gonna mess. Our baggage is gonna get lost in transit. Ugh.
Well, you'll be in the warp for about 2 weeks,
Better
and
than 2 years.
shortly, 4 hours, 5 hours after you've docked and you've gone about, you've seen people coming and going, and one of the co-pilot exited the vessel probably an hour after you docked and began relaying orders to what supplies need to be refueled, what supplies you need and to be refueled. And 4 hours on, you receive a message from the co-pilot who tells you that dinner will be in an hour. He asks, well, he's very polite in the way that he says it, but the captain has asked for formal wear to at least make yourselves look presentable. No large weapons, of course. Swords. If your uniform should have a sidearm, then that's perfectly fine. But coming in with large weapons is unsightly, unseemly. It's not for the dinner table.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure my. I don't think my enforcer character is.
I don't think it's ceremonial.
Yeah.
If you don't have, like, so for example, if you were in the Astra Militarum, your military clothes would be an acceptable, if you polished them up and had them cleaned up. If you're like Ghost and you pretty much wear a bodysuit all the time, he will have clothes made available to you. You just need to ask. However, our Mechanicus may be happy with her robes. It's
I'll polish my light carapace. I have made the
no. So armor would not be
Yeah.
acceptable at the dinner table. You're at a dinner table. Armor
Do
would
I,
definitely.
do I have spare officer's clothing then? Because I was a sergeant. I don't know if I
Do
do. That's
you?
the thing.
Are you asking if your character has
Yeah, if my character would have, because
Yeah,
the only
you
thing
would
I
have
know
had
she has
had
is like
normal clothes. So your background would have come with normal clothes for that role. So you would have a sergeant's uniform. I imagine, considering you're not in the Astra Militarum anymore, you would have got a new uniform when you left, unless you wanted to have a beat up old uniform from your days of your.
I'll have a new uniform. I'll go wearing my uniform then, and my sword and my pistol.
Yep, sure.
Actually, I'm not gonna take the pistol. I'm just gonna take the sword. I never use the pistol anyway.
Sure, that's fine. I mean, if you wanted to wear chain, or essentially Ghost could wear his body glove underneath normal clothes, to a degree, not the helmet, perhaps. Or you may need to explain that. That would be, perfectly fine. It's just big, bulky armor at the dinner table is a bit... The fuck?
I'll go with my officer's clothes.
Did anyone else need any gear for dinner?
Is it insisted that I'd come or not?
No, no one's forcing you to come along. I don't. Amanda, are you forcing him to go along?
Yeah, I'll grab him and make him come along. It's not polite to leave well, not a superior, but we're his guests, so we have to be polite.
I think
All
I'm
right.
going to leave Hector in my room and not bring him to the table. Yes. And I will not take any of my weapons. Because I don't really have anything concealable.
Why not bring Hector and use him as a cup holder?
He doesn't have the proper thingies.
I would allow it.
I see.
He would be allowed to hold like a wine glass or something.
You're pushing it, but now, like, I don't know. Wouldn't the servoscope be kind of disconcerting? Like you're trying to eat and it's just staring at you, doing the.
You can have your hand cannon, because I imagine your robes would have a holster for that if you wished.
Yeah, okay, I'll take my sidearm.
Sure. Then half an hour before dinner is meant to be, before someone's meant to collect you, a serf from the ship. He's well dressed. He's clearly not a manual worker on the ship. Perhaps he's the tailor's assistant. He comes and brings a variety of different uniforms, of different areas. So they've got some uniforms that definitely look like Navy. Some are definitely Army. Others are officers, but they're not like Imperial Guard uniforms. They're definitely mismatched and made to look like they are. Ghost, the tailor, appears to take great interest in you, seeing as you're the only one who's not trying to polish themselves or.
No, my armor is my bodysuit is clean. The
Yeah, you
mesh
wouldn't
vest
be
has
able.
also been cleaned off. The cloak is clean.
You
the
wouldn't
mask
be
is
able
clean,
to wear
everything
the
is clean,
armor like on its own. You would have to have clothes to go over the armor to look
Okay.
more, dinner.
I'm just like, I don't have any clothing other than my armor. Fuck.
That's why the tailor's there. So
Okay.
he's holding up different types of uniforms and different, they've got their bits of flair on them or fake badges that don't really mean anything, and so it's up to you.
I do not know what I should pick. I usually do not dress fancy clothing. I try to stay functional.
Well then, just leave it to me, and I will sort you straight out. Now let me take some measurements, and he straps open a tape measure. And if we just get there, in between the legs now, if you just spread your legs, and I'll just get these
Do I need
measurements.
to take off the armor or not?
No, I can I can take the suits out and I can make them fit over. That's not a. As he's doing this, he is running a tape measure with some skill around your frame. Even if you wiggle and try to test a bit, he seems to be
I
very
am standing still.
adept.
I'm standing very still, which is something the ghost can do.
Then you just watch as this man just zip, 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 zip round you with a tape measure, just with rapid speed. Before like looking at, he tries to look at through your mask and the helmet. It's not really. Can we lose it, or is it a permanent fixture?
It is not stuck on me, if that is what you're asking.
Well, can we lose it for dinner, or is this?
If you insist. And I take off the mask.
Okay.
He sees what I described last time to Amanda. And those jet black pools just stare at him.
So he is going to take a willpower test because he is just a tailor.
A rogue tailor. No.
So he fails. So as you take off the mask, you see the whites of his eyes enlarge, and his eyes kind of pop out a bit.
Back on.
Honey,
I put the mask back on.
You're hideous. I mean, what? Yeah, leave the mask on. He opens up his little suitcase and takes out some things, and he actually places another mask on the table, but this mask has a seam running around the lower jaw, and as you look carefully at it, it looks as if it's got little slats running up along the jaw, and either you or he will touch the front and you'll see that it slides up, allowing for easier access to eat. This is for gentlemen who have been have not received the healing effects of a skilled
I take off my mask
chirurgeon.
again and put on that mask.
It should make it easier for you to eat. He
As
looks
I'm already putting it on.
very freaked out, and as he holds up suits, his hands kind of tremble a little bit as.
I slightly smile, revealing my slightly more canine teeth.
Oh, God. You're just doing this on purpose now, aren't you?
And after 15 minutes of you, as you watch him work, he quickly takes a uniform and begins letting out the legs, giving it a bit more. It seems as if all these uniforms have been made too large, so that they can be altered for guests. And he quickly removes the seams.
As humanly possible, so he's easily able to do this job.
He takes about 15 minutes, and he's done doing his work to the suit. For whatever reason, you imagine that this was slow for him, but he's here you go, honey. Wear that, and by all means, you keep it, and I'll.
What sort of uniform have I been given? Have I just been given a tuxedo or something?
It's definitely it's more of a uniform than a tuxedo or a dress or anything of that style, but it's definitely made of a more luxurious fabric than what a uniform would be made of. The gold trim and the gold studs, you imagine they may actually be real gold, and little notes like that. You can add that you have a high quality uniform to your inventory if you wish. However, it's not of any military unit that actually exists. So, but yep, 15 minutes and he's done. He's then packing away his stuff, and he very quickly leaves, quite sheepishly. I believe Diogenes, will you be wearing your
Imperial robes? Yeah.
Yeah, for the group that you're from.
Yeah.
Okay, so you.
I just have my
I was-
Mechanicus robes.
I also have like a little badge which is pretty much just slightly decorated, but it pretty much just says Research Station Charlie 846471.
Okay. So after another 15 minutes, a group of they're not guards, they're well dressed, but you can see they have got sidearms. It's almost like an honor guard. Appears. There's four of them. They come to the ship, and there's a knock on the door, and on the outside of the shuttle door. It's almost a bit of a pompous. And if any of you look out the window, you'll see that there is someone talking on a microbead. Possibly, you're not quite sure. Maybe to the crew on the ship. But after it's kind of a knock 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 knock. It almost sounds like a song. Almost has stopped. The door just opens, and one of the men steps in. All those who wish to attend the banquet with our honourable captain, please make yourselves known.
So is he like asking us to introduce ourselves, or
Basically, step forwards. Come to them if you're coming.
no, Jenny will step towards them. She's not really used to like high class social situations, so
Amanda will announce that she's participating. And she'll just be ready to leave as soon as the dinner starts.
So just step forward and say name.
Also, if she saw Ghost with the tailor, she'd probably whisper to Ghost, next time you might try saying that the mask is part of your culture. It's another thing they might take better.
here I was expecting you saying something along the lines, "Don't do that with the captain."
No, it's more
I am like currently just asking like, what do we need to do? Do we need to step forward and just say our name, or what do we need to do?
You just need to step forwards, and the guard will take you from there. It's more just to make yourself known. Yep, I'm coming. The dinner bell has been rung. So before I could even.
Okay.
So if you step forwards, they will take up position either side, and we will take a quick break there whilst I try out my new break screen. So we will be right back.
Oh, we have a new
not that one. That one. There we go. Because we don't need the map this time. So, welcome back, everyone. As we come back from our break, the guards take up flanking positions by either side of you. They don't have their weapon. They're more, like I said, it's more of an honor guard, a parade, almost, in very small. There's only 4 of them, but they lead you out of the airlock. Sorry, not out of the airlock, out of the dock, and
Well, that's one way to end the banquet. Jesus.
straight
What
out.
did we do to annoy that guy?
Straight out. Yep, you didn't know he was a traitor and a heretic. Out you go.
God damn it, they always are. Why does it always have to be the rich ones?
Well, they had to get rich somehow.
True.
As you come out of the dock, you would immediately notice that this is definitely an area for guests. There's finery on the walls, paintings of, you would imagine, different members of the family, and there's a shag rug that leads all the way along this carpet. Fine, what you imagine is perhaps gold trim, or maybe it's just gold leaf along the corridors, and the guards march in step. So all 4 of them on either flanks, they're walking in step as they walk down. And they kind of just almost guard you in a boxy kind of making their way down the corridors. If there's anything you want to ask them, by all means you can, but otherwise they make their way in a march silence. Just their footsteps on the carpet is all that you can really hear from them. After several minutes, you are led to this magnificent wooden archway, carved in this gorgeous golden wood that you don't know if it's the varnish or if it's the actual wood itself.
Wood?
But it's almost got a luminescence to it, a vibrancy. And these wooden archway with the imperial aquila, the eagle, at the top. With these,
Is it the best
Oh,
wood though?
geez. Is that the best wood?
you
Is it
perhaps
the best wood?
perhaps it might be, but it's not the strongest. Diogenes, you would
Is
know
the
that the
aquila
world that you
gold
just
or
came
brass?
from, the world you just came from, this is not a wood from that world. You would know that. However, the doors themselves are indeed, I believe I called it iron oak, a wood that is grown on the world. Well, that was below you. You're now in the warp, so yeah. And as the guards, 2 of them flank the door and take a guarding position, the other 2 open the door in a very showman-like way. One of them placing his arm down as he opens the door and bowing. Captain, I have brought the guests for dinner. Ah, yes. Thank you. Show them in. He steps back against the door. Please, enter. And you are shown into the room. This room has marble pillars wrapped with, it almost looks like it's living wood, as it's clearly been carved, but it wraps around these marble pillars in a way that makes it look as if these are vines climbing up. The room itself is not gigantic. It's not a massively large room. It's a large dining room, but the finery around is just almost awe-inspiring. The table is a vert de mer marble, a black and green, and its corners have been carved with eagle heads that come out, and the legs come down into the talons. And at the head of the table sits a very small man. In stature, he seems quite very thin, very weedy almost. He doesn't seem as a man with much presence or power. But he raises to his feet. Greetings. I am Captain Marcus David Van Trant. It is an honour to work with you. Please sit, enjoy the meal that I have laid out for you.
The honor is all ours, Captain.
He makes the sign of the Omnisire to you, Miss Jenny. But it is always an honour to have one of the Omnisire's own on my ship.
I'm gonna return the sign. Bit surprised, just a slight bit, that he knows of our traditional greeting.
I am always pleased to have a member of your order on my ship. Please all take a seat.
As soon as Amanda entered the room, she would make a salute, and then after he told her to sit, she would sit.
I'll just make like a sort of half bow, where I lower my head a little bit, but not like my back too much.
My head is slightly tilted and I just look.
And then I sort of wait for an awkward silence of 3 seconds or more, and as soon as I get it, I go, "So, where did you procure the wood in the halls behind us?"
I knew it.
The Everglow. Yes, it is a rather rare wood from the planet of Osiris. It is about 6 months travel from our current location. Unfortunately, though, the planet's biosphere was irreversibly damaged, meaning the wood has all the more value now.
So would you say it's one of the best woods for everything, or just trading?
Oh no, it is not a defensive. The iron oak there is without doubt a far superior wood for defensive reasons, but I have been told by artisans that it is hideous to work, whereas the Everglow, they tell me, is like dreams. You can merely place the right tool in the right place and your wildest dreams can take form in the wood. I am, however, quite bemused at your fascination with woods, sir. He's gesturing at your name.
In character, I'd probably just be assume he's just calling me sir for some reason.
No, he would.
then
He
I'll-
does gesture. Sorry, I keep forgetting. There's no webcam, so any hand gestures are lost. He does gesture with his hand as if he is waiting for you to give him your name. But you might not pick up on that.
Yeah, I just go. There's no need for those kind of formalities.
I'm gonna if I'm close to him, I'm gonna elbow him slightly and say, "Your name, dumbass."
Yes, the
No, my
dining
name's
table.
Diogenes Cognitius. Actually, it's not dumbass. Thank you very much.
Diogenes. It is. You're an interesting fellow. The dining table that you're all sat at is probably 6 foot wide by about 12 foot long. So it's a large, marble table, but it's not ridiculously far. The seating is only for you all and him. He has his guards in there as well, but there's no other officers, there's no other personnel in this dining room.
I just whisper to whoever's standing next to me. How should I behave? I have no clue what to do here.
I assume you wouldn't whisper that to me after what I've just done.
No. I take it you're not standing next to me. I think
I think we're on our way to being sat down.
Amanda and Jenny are standing next to me, so I just whisper that to one of them.
Here, we'll have, if you scroll down on the map, you'll see we've got Amanda and Ghost on one side, we've got Diogenes and Jenny on the other, and then he would be at the head of the table.
Okay.
So, let us, at the very least, get refreshments. Marcel, yes, have them bring in the drinks, please. Thank you. So I understand that you work for a man that I know very well. I will not pry into what you have been doing, but you should know that I do know him, and I know the organisation that he works for. He grabs, as he says this, he holds his arm, his right arm on the bicep. He begins to rub a spot there. But as I said, I do not wish to pry into your business, just to inform you I do know the man.
I'm just sitting there with my head tilted, just looking at everything like, what the fuck do I do here?
Amanda will whisper to him to just be quiet and follow everybody else's lead.
Okay.
Except for Diogenes.
Yeah, but that's a given.
Is it though? Yeah.
A man enters the room. He holds a tray with 5 wine glasses and 5 tumblers. You are each given a wine glass and a tumbler. You would note that in the tumbler is Amasec. For those of you who've had it before, the honey coloured liquid and the aroma is quite distinct. The other glass is a wine glass filled about 1/3 of the way with a vibrant red fluid that many of you have seen before. By all means, enjoy the drinks. I personally find the aged melanus wine quite delightful before the meal.
I sniff the red stuff.
You have melanus wine, which apparently has been aged, and Amasec.
I won't drink as per
I
usual.
put the glass up to my nose and just smell it.
You get very strong, fruity notes that come through with a slight tartness that wasn't there before. Like there's an almost sour note to it underneath the sweet fruit fragrance.
I take a small sip.
Does
I'll
it
follow.
smell of honey and taste of poison?
He's a rogue trader. You wouldn't be able to taste the poison if he would pay for the good stuff. It's
True.
not poisoned. You drink the melanus wine, and it does indeed taste different compared to the fresher bottle that you had tried before, or some of you had tried before, and it does have there's a sweetness in fragrance, but a tartness in flavour that just the two mix in your mouth, and you automatically just saliva begins building up, and it's an extremely nice little drop.
I'll follow the host lead. I'll take some of the Melanus wine. I'll take a small sip, enjoy it, and that's it. But I won't be drinking too much.
Yeah. Diogenes just doesn't drink at all.
Okay. The first starters come in shortly after. He would note, Diogenes, that you haven't drunk. We've moved on about 5 minutes. Diogenes, would you care for a non-alcoholic beverage?
I'll just sort of perk up at that and I have a smile on my face as if to be like, oh, that's quite a nice thought of him, and then nod and thank him.
And as the starters come in, he motions to one of the men and he leaves. You imagine to get you a drink. I would not have it known that I do not offer decent hospitality to those who are guests aboard my ship. However, we should talk about the rules. Unfortunately, you are a corrupting group. You know things and have experienced things that my crew should not. Thus I would ask you to remain in your docking bay, aboard your ship. If you need anything, you may, of course, vox the command deck. All the bridge officers know that you are to be handled with great care, and that only high-ranking officers would dare to use the comms at this time. So you need not worry about your requests bringing unwanted attention. This is not the first time I have aided the Imperium in this way.
I'll just sort of nod and go, I will keep my mouth shut then.
You're brought out appetizers. Diogenes, you're brought out a type of fruit juice, which is quite tasty. The appetizers are extremely fine and delicate, and this whole situation is quite bizarre to you as you watch these men pompously bring out these tiny little mouth-sized portions of food with very grand plates, and very, very odd.
I just, every time one of these is put on my plate, I look like, what is the rest doing? Are they doing something with, like, if I don't see them do anything in time, I will literally just every time just pick up the food with my hand, put it in my mouth, and that's it.
Oh no, don't do that. Since
You would,
Amanda's an officer, I believe she would know how to eat at an officer's table.
I mean,
you
I
could
don't
quite
know
easily
how
just
far
follow his lead.
sergeants would be.
You could quite
like-
easily follow the Rogue Traders League leave. He is, first to dig in because he knows how to eat it and things.
Yeah. How much does the Rogue Trader drink alcohol-wise?
He drinks his 1/3 of a glass of Melanus wine before the main meal turns up. So I'll tell you now, there are 9 courses to this meal, and you sit there for a good hour and a half eating, and if you wish you can have more drinks brought to you, but you would note by the end of the meal he started on his amasec, so this is by no means drinking in excess. Tell the chef that was delicious as always. I hope the food was to your liking. I understand the ceremony might not be.
The
I'm
food
used
was really
to-
delicious, so thank you.
And I'll like stop myself when I hear you say that, and I'll just go, enjoyable.
it is a surprise how good food can lift the hardships of one's life, but then again, we are not all so appreciative, I should imagine. But by all means, if you would care to have a cigar, I will soon be returning to my duties.
Would my character know what a cigar is and like how it affects a person?
He has the cigars are brought after, like once the dessert plates have been taken out. You'd note that a man walks in with another tray, and then another fancy dish, and you'd see the cigars lined there. You could ask him, but it's pretty well established that you'd know what a low stick does.
If I think it's addictive, then I wouldn't have it at all. I just no, thank you.
I will not take a cigar either. I'll just say no thanks.
He lights his cigar, sits there. You see him dip the end into his amasec. It is small vices, I believe, are a way to keep a man sane. Small vices. One should never indulge too much, though. It is a downfall of many in my line of work.
I would be fairly interested in them, and then I'd ask him, sort of like, I just start mithering him with questions about cigars, like what's the difference between them and a low stick? How does it have any effect on your brain other than the addiction?
He would probably tell you that you will not get addicted from one cigar for the nicotine usage. However, you may become mentally addicted to the actual smoking process. But he'd inform you that they're far better for you than common low sticks, and that these are made from the finest hand-rolled tobacco from Zendias 9 from the Obscurus sector, and he'd tell you the heritage behind the item. He'd also probably link on that he does in fact trade these cigars.
I think I'm damaged. Whenever I was thinking you're gonna say the heretics behind it. I'm like, yep, Dark Heresy broke me. It's heretics.
Heretics making cigars.
Heretical cigars. They're definitely slashy.
I do not smoke. I am just nodding along for most and trying to eat the way that the rogue trader dude is doing it and possibly failing horribly at it.
If there's a cigar that looks fairly fancy, I'd probably go for that one and go, one wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, then he would pass you, because they do look fancy. Like, he opens them up doing like a little gold box with all like a gold leaf that goes round the in writing, and there's even some like holy script writ on there to make it look as if it's the official. It's got a stamp to say that it's made by these people officially. All the telltale signs of a luxury good.
Ah. Yeah, but would there be any like barber poles where it's like two different wrappers on the outside which like look like a barber pole essentially?
No, you would note that there's not these cigars. You'd probably look at the box that they're in and think that that's probably got something to do with it. The box that they're actually in is extremely fancy with carvings all the way round, and as you look, the cigars aren't in wrappers. They aren't in. You don't see anything. They just take them out, and he will show you where to cut it and how to prepare it. But no, there's no. Unless you're asking how it's wrapped, like as in the leaves are wrapped, then yes, you can see a pattern of the leaves being going down the side.
Okay. I'd probably botch it up terribly, and then like it'd start like falling apart a little bit, but I'd still like go through the process and try and copy him a little bit to seem elegant and fail.
By all means, I'm not going to get you to roll to sort out an item that you're being shown, like hand for hand how to do. You pair the cigar as he shows you, and you take a hit as he shows you. Why not roll toughness to see, like, natural 100, you're going to be there coughing your guts up. If you fail, it's just a oh, that's new. With a 9, you toke that bad boy down and just that felt right. That felt good. You're not sure if it's the addictive quality, but somehow you just, and even he sits back and is like, huh. There's like a look on his face of he didn't cough. He didn't like cough his guts up. Fair enough.
I like pace myself perfectly. I don't like spilling any of the ash anywhere. I actually fairly enjoy it then. I'll thank him for it and let him know about it.
So after several minutes of talking about cigars and slowly drinking his amasec, unless there's anything you want to ask him.
I might disconnect. My PC might be dying, so if I disconnect, sorry.
Okay.
I'd probably ask like see if there's any other like information that I could get out of him essentially. Just any like interesting facts or like just chunks of information that he might be willing to share.
So
I-
he would
I'd probably
be
make it
willing to
obvious
share.
though that I'm just trying to get info out of him.
He would be willing to share your next destination, which he actually gives you the full destination. Whereas before you've only been really given the name of the worlds. He gives you the name of the world, the sector that you're in. Sorry, the segmentum that you're in, the sector and the subsector.
What segmentum are we in?
Obscurus.
Ah,
And then the way that they do it is really weird on the Wikipedia or just in the books altogether. So yeah, the segmentum is part of the imperial map, and he would hand you all a data slate. This was dropped off by another member of your organisation. It is linked to your DNAs. By all means, if you wish to use this room once I leave, you can. Or I will not be offended if you choose to use it in your ship. And he slides.
She did prophesize that.
He did indeed. He slides the data slate onto the marble table. I can tell you that you will be heading to Zakras. It is a feudal world. There are two factions that fight over it in a way. It has many resources that can be exploited. Its population are strong fighters. However, they have an unusually high number of psychers on the world. And that would not be such an issue if the ecclesiarchy had not taken a rather large interest in the world. It is an interesting place. I do not venture to the surface myself, though. Feudal worlds are not to my taste.
ghost is still just nodding along, like. Does this mask actually fully conceal his eyes or not?
It's a lot like your last mask, as in it's a death mask, so it completely obscures your face. It's a one-way
Okay.
material, so you can see through it, but they can't see
Okay.
you.
Behind the mask, my eyes are literally just darting back between Amanda, Jenny, and the rogue trader. Like, I have no clue what I am doing here. Internal screaming. This is not a comfortable situation for me.
The Adeptus Telepathica have an interest in the world.
PC isn't there as much anymore, but Jesus.
Welcome back.
I'm back. Sorry about that.
Welcome back.
So were there any other questions? He doesn't really have much more he can tell you about the world.
I'd probably ask him enough questions that I'd probably eventually just go, okay, I'm not telling you anymore. Like,
Has he told us anything about our mission, or is it all the data slides?
That's on the data slate. There's a recorded message from your interrogator.
so I'd probably just ask him a lot of trade questions about what kind of stats and everything. Pretty much all the boring stuff he probably wouldn't actually enjoy, but still has to do.
He does. He actually enjoys going through the numbers and remembering which world has the best resources, which world does this, that, and the other. He would tell you that the world's main, so it basically goes people, food, materials, and that's kind of it. They don't really have I suppose psychers would be the main resource that the world like the imperial tithe. Psychers are paid for mainly on the world, but as for what it produces, it really it's a feudal world, so it's not a massive amount of food, not a massive amount of materials. However, they do have a massive population, surplus population, so
Wait, so they have a lot of psychers, but not a lot of population?
no, they have a large population that normally gets taken off into the Astra Militarum, but they also have an unusually high number of psychers being drawn from this world. He'd probably know that the black ships visit that world a lot, but he wouldn't know how often or how many, or he would just know that both the Astra Telepathica and the Astra, the Ecclesiarchy, they both got big interests in this world.
Still nodding along. But also leaning forward ever slightly more at the mention of lots of psychers on planets. Curious.
Shortly after this discussion, you would see that his cigar has run out, his glass empty. He stands up from the table. It has been most enjoyable to talk with you all, but I must retire now. Duty calls.
Amanda will stand up as soon as he does. And if he's done talking, she will say,
I also stand up, I look at the man, I'm like, stand up.
"Thank you for a very enjoyable evening, sir." And I'll stand up again. as soon as he leaves, I'll stand up.
I'll also not. I, but still keeping my mouth shut. The only reason I've ever opened my mouth this entire dinner thing was just to eat the food. I haven't said a word.
I'd probably sort of bow my head again, but not my back, and then flick the cigar into the ashtray. Would I be able to like make it so none of the ash goes on the table when I flick it in, or?
You would probably need to give me a ballistic skill check.
Oh no, no, this is how we die.
Unfortunately,
the cigar explodes.
you not only do you miss, but you clip the edge and the ash just goes everywhere and the cigar rolls onto the table.
Duck for cover!
I'll just sort of whisper, "Oh, I kind of wanted to seem cool a little bit."
He does a curt bow, only a small one, lowering his head slightly and raising his arms ever so slightly to the side of him. And he turns around and walks out of the door behind. It's a very fine door that he walks through, and this whole room is just picture a palace, royalty, billionaires, that kind of luxury. Describing it hurts me. And he exits the door and closes it behind him. There's still a guard in the room who can escort you back to wherever you need to go.
We'll wait for the rest of the group to see if they're going to do anything, which would require her.
I'd probably like awkwardly go and like pick up the cigar and like try and like scrape the ash into my hands, but like a lot of it gets stuck on the cloth on the table. I'm like shit.
Luckily, there's no
So-
cloth. It's just a marble table, so you're quite lucky there. No linen has been spoiled.
Okay.
I mean, if we're leaving, I'm just gonna do a respectful bow and do the sign of the Omnissiah.
To the soldier, I won't do I'll do a very small salute, and then I'll just ask him to take us back to our quarters.
Sure. The soldier leads you back along the corridor that you had previously walked down. There's only one of them now. The two who were guarding the door appear to have left. You're not sure when. He leads you down there, and he hands you, once you get back to your ship, he hands you a microbead code and tells you that if you do need anything immediately, if there's any emergencies, then use the microbead. If you need items, if you need things brought to your ship, extra supplies, vox it in at the main ship.
Yep. Well, the ship still needs supplies. I'll just give the Vox comms to the pilots, and well, just tell them that if the ship needs supplies, they should call here.
No, so they ship's been resupplied. They have the bridge comms. The microbead is in case you guys need anything like immediate
gotcha.
help. Shit,
Gotcha,
someone's
gotcha.
broken out or something's attacked. All the maintenance and mundane shit goes through the bridge. But you make it back to your ship,
Gotcha.
and you bring out the data slate. Do you all sit around and listen to the recording?
I'd suggest that we go to the ship,
You're at the ship.
the gun cutter. Oh,
You're
wait, the
in-
gun
you're
cutter.
in the
Sorry.
gun cutter. Yeah.
Okay. Then yeah, I'll just listen to it.
Yep. We'll just sit and listen.
Okay. So as you place your thumb on the data slate, it doesn't look like it's a magnificently crafted data slate, but Jenny, you would notice that it's just a cover. It's a cover of a normal data slate over a master crafted piece of technology. And as you place your thumb on the data slate, it comes up DNA red, awaiting imprint. And it has a number. And as you pass the data slate on, and Diogenes touches it, again, 2 people, 2 more needed. So you pass it around, and soon enough you have 4 imprints. And you hear the voice of your interrogator. If you are hearing this, it means that you have survived your last mission and have met up with the rogue trader on the Fall of Sin. Firstly, may I say well done. If you have lost a member, then we will mourn their loss and we will ensure that you are resupplied in terms. Hopefully you have met up with the Arbite agent who was sent to the world as well. I have known him for many years. He's a skilled infiltrator, although his appearance has caused him to be looked down upon. I would ask that you look past this and try to learn from his skills. However, your next mission will take you to the world of Scaras. This is a medieval world. The inhabitants are poorly equipped when it comes to technology. However, you're not there to look into their technological improvements. We have an issue. This world is known to us and the black ships because of its unusually high output of psychers. The tithe for this world is collected yearly, as in every year the black ships will have some psychers that will need to be claimed for the Astra Telepathica to judge. However, this would not have been such a problem if the ecclesiarchy had not seen it as their right to ensure the purity of the population. There has always been hostilities on this world. The planetary governor takes a hands-off approach. He is less than desirable. You can hear in his voice that there's a sign of these fuckers are just useless. You know, do not count on them. If you must investigate him, by all means, I give you my permission. Keep this data slate on hand. Keep it safe and keep it hidden. You'll find that within this data slate is proof of who you work for. Do not flaunt this power. At the moment, we are looking at a possible full-on civil war between these two factions on this world. And unfortunately, all the information that we have been given about this situation is contradictory. Each side claims that they are not the aggressor, they are the defender. each side says that vital personnel have been spirited away. Normally, I would expect darker forces at play, but with the Astra Telepathica positioned there with a base of operations, I find this hard to believe, but you will investigate this. I'm giving you a much higher level of clearance for this operation. You'll find some information on this data slate. However, unfortunately, you will not find one of our outposts where you'll be able to access more vital information. Look into why these two factions are fighting. Find out what is going on. You'll find more detailed information within. And, if all goes well, you'll be picked up by my personal craft. If not, then it may be the Fall of Sin that takes you to your next destination. Leave your documents with the captain of the Fall of Sin. If you must, you can leave them with Matthew, and he will hold on to them until he gets in contact with us again. Or the Fall of Sin may reach one of our other agents, and the documents may be passed on that way. If you feel the need to hold on to your previous reports, then by all means you may. But I would like to find out what happened on your previous world. Do not fail me on this mission, and hopefully when we next meet, you'll meet your interrogator, and you'll be given the full rank of inquisitorial agents and acolytes. May the Emperor protect, and may you serve well. And he signs off.
Psychers. That brings back memories from my planet.
Small question. Permission to kill if necessary?
Why did I know we were gonna ask this?
I'll have a little bit of a smirk on my face as if you like.
Because it is what I am hired for. I am not sure what to call this for the planets.
You would see in the data slate, Jenny would be able to pass the information on to your personal data slates if you all wanted a copy, or you can share it. You would see that you have, if you find someone suspicious enough that you deem them a threat, you can kill them.
Okay.
How much do we know about this plan? Like, does it actually have like a planetary governor, or did they just have a king or duke or
No, they have a
whoever?
planetary governor. You would see in the report, the planetary governor is named Augustus Greywater.
And for all we know, he's useless.
In the report, it basically writes down that he's an aristocrat, lives in the highest, most grandest castle, lives in absolute luxury, doesn't lift a finger. He made a deal many years ago with the Mechanicus to have several cherubim to serve as his personal serfs and servants. But apart from that, it's just he does nothing. He basically leaves the running of the world over to the It's the Adeptus Administratum handles the world's, like their outpost on the world handles the world's tithes, the organization. So if the Imperium needs more of this, then the Administratum can say, right, you need to send more people to the mines, for example. And minor nobles and that sort of thing run the day-to-day of the world.
Since it's a medieval world, not a lot of mechanicus, I take it.
Very few mechanicus.
Single digits?
Yes, pretty much. You would note that when you look at the world map, there has very clearly been technology built onto the world. There is an outpost where the Administratum is basically housed, and that has a starport that allows for materials to be taken off-world. But that's basically the only technology on the planet.
See, now out of character, I regret not having mechadendrites because I would be a spooky metal man! A woman, whatever.
You have spooky metal ghost flying around.
You have a flying
Yes,
skull.
I do
Scary
have a
woman.
ghost.
Also, can't you get them implanted?
I could, but that's a requisition test, and I failed all 3 of mine, so...
Oh.
Yeah. I was trying to requisition a last pistol. I rolled a 62, 93, and 100.
I mean, that's hilarious that you failed to get a last pistol.
Yes, I know. I do find that hilarious.
Do you want Amanda's last pistol?
I mean, I still needed to get it fitted on the forearm. Also, we're going to the... I'm so glad I have a last log because I don't imagine being able to charge a last back anywhere there.
The
Fire.
Administratum building, you could.
Speak not of such heresies.
Listen,
Where are we? Front lines? That's
forget
how you
the-
destroy a last pack.
Curses in High Gothic.
Curses in binary. Get on my level.
Curses in Orc.
You would also see, because it's quite well documented, the planetary governor, in title and name only. He has a lot of luxury goods brought to the world. The captain of the rogue trader vessel he would have told Diomedes over dinner that they're going to go and drop off a large supply of melanus wine in exchange for several thousand serfs. As well as
Could just breed his own.
cigars, fine wines, a lot of fine foods off-world are going to the planetary governor from the rogue trader, at least.
So essentially, he's a fat noble that's sitting on his chair and getting fatter by the day.
Yes. Augustus Greywater.
Augustus Group.
About the ecclesiarchy, so it seems as if during the Reign of Blood, the ecclesiarchy actually took root on this world proper, purging the witch and the Astra Militarum at this point. They both have very large, so the Astra... I'm getting names all confused now. The... Let's go with the Astra Telepathica first. The Astra Telepathica has a fortress built on world. It almost looks like they came in and took over a medieval castle. You would know that there are 9 members of the Adeptus Astra Telepathica, who are in charge of suppressing the use of psychic powers, and basically training the new recruits to suppress your power. You know, that's all they teach them. Don't use your power, suppress it, protect yourself until the black ships come and, you know, see if the God Emperor has chosen you. Whereas during the Reign of Blood, the Adeptus, I said their name,
Ministorum.
Ministorum, thank you, came in and basically put the world under siege. At that point, witch burning was running rife.
Wait, we know about the age of
So
was it
this is
age of apostasy?
so you don't have those details. You know that at this time they're giving you a timeline of what's gone on in the world, without giving you the really corrupting details. You don't know about Van Dyer. You don't know what was going on round then. I'm only using those words because I don't know the dates, like M34.
So all we know is that there was some sort of civil war.
You know that at one point the religious zealots decided, yep, this is our world, and
Okay.
they didn't get on with the psychic finger wigglers, and it was much later on, for I probably should have said this, for out of character terms, after the Reign of Blood, once the Imperium had calmed down a lot, a truce was made between the two groups, and the world was on an uneasy truce. You know, there was still the occasional witch burning because someone went crazy with power, or there was, unfortunately, it's 40k, so there are demon possessions on world. Very rare. This is very, very rare, but it does happen. People do go out of control with their powers. They also have a high number of latent psychers coming from this world. So people have reason to fear psychers on this world. But it's been over recent months, we're talking within the last 6 months, that things have been getting progressively worse. Riots and attacks against each outpost, so in the reports it basically says from the Astra Telepathica that one of their members went missing. A female initiate went missing, and then all of a sudden the other group are saying, well, one of their people went missing, and they both attacked each other. Later on down the line, you hear that actually one of the Adeptus Telepathica members, one of the 9, went missing. She just disappeared with no sign, no trace, and a riot broke out from that. You would be able to see in her report that she specialised in healing. She was actually a biomancer. So certain people in the population who may have been treated by her thought this was an outrage. Again, more hostilities growing in the reports, and then you see that the Adeptus Administratum, yes, they then have a missing woman, someone who was claimed to be the next saint. They thought she was going to be a saint. She had this unworldly kind of look, and just this, you know, they thought she was going to be a saint, and she went missing, and that's when things started going downhill quickly. You then hear reports of witch burnings going on in the streets and rioting, and the Astra Telepathica actually barricaded themselves into their own fortress as there were riots going on, and innocent people were killed. We lost Henry again, I see. So were there any other details that you wanted to know from the data slate?
Not sure.
Nothing I can think of right now.
Well, essentially the breakdown of the mission is find out what the hell's been going on, find out who or what is causing these two groups to be at war with each other, and yeah, that's essentially your modus operandi. You can go in however you want, with whatever cover you want. So that's entirely up to the group.
How do we want to go in? Yeah.
For the Sister of Battle, there is an outpost where Sisters of Battle and new initiates are actually taken from the population. Just as a side note.
I'm here, I'm just thinking.
So most of you do have a connection to the world through your previous lives. You can also go down completely unconnected to your previous lives. It is entirely up to you.
I mean, literally going down as Sororitas, staying in the barracks makes sense for getting a lecture on planet. Just coming here to train.
Yeah. Right. But I hate that I need to do a visual check here. I do not know how to handle this. Someone, please help me. I am used to not needing to have cover story. I just sneak in.
I think I already have a cover story, and then I point to like a symbol of my robes.
Looks at symbol.
It's pretty much just the symbol for the Dectus Administrorum.
And you Administratum.
Administratum, sorry. I get them mixed up.
Yeah, we'd be getting on great if you were Ministorum. Because we'd be both members of the Ecclesiarchy.
Praise the God Emperor.
I mean, if one of you can pull off fancy, you could always be there to order a suit of armor.
I could probably do that. If I don't stop failing on my rolls.
I still gotta make my rolls, and depending on if I get the first thing I want, I might ask for Feudal World Plate, even though I'll never wear it. It'd be I wouldn't wear it because of weight, not because I wouldn't wear it, because I can ignore the agility penalty it'd give me. Thank you, Feudal World. Yeah, this, do you mind me making my requisitions now?
No, you can make them.
Okay, I'm gonna try and get a best quality chainsword.
Ghost likes.
Is either that or get regular sword with mono on it.
I could also hand you my chainsaw.
And I already have a chainsaw. I want a better one.
Oh. Okay.
So I roll flat, right?
I not give you my sword, so not regular sword. It's
So,
too precious.
a chainsaw to scarce, taking it to best quality takes it to very rare. So
It's very rare. Then never mind. I'll just get it at good, I guess. Unless I have to trade in my chainsaw to get it.
well, no, it would take it up to very rare, which I believe is a -30. So as long as you have 30 influence, you can roll
Yeah, I got
on
37.
it. Because it's a very rare item, if you traded in your original chainsword, you would only get a +10 to the roll because it's 2 items low. Hang on, no, that's
It's a lot of items lower.
yeah, no, it's two. It's two too many. It's one too many items lower, unfortunately. Because I think the way this system works is I'm only going. You get a +30 if you give an item that's rarer, a +20 if you give an item that's the same rarity, a +10 if you give an item of one lesser rarity.
And chainsaw actually starts at average. It's just the weird way the actual baseline Dark Heresy does it is it would be very rare. Because
No,
it's
because
really
it goes up by 3 degrees, doesn't it? So if it's
Yeah,
average, it goes to scarce, then it goes to rare. So it'd be a rare item.
I think my brain's just not functioning because of the whole thing's very rare. And I was talking about the awkward way craftsmanship works, because it's like in baseline craftsmanship, it's just like -20, -30.
Oh yeah, no, I can see it's next to it, isn't it? So it's so you'd have to have okay. Yeah, so your influence level is high enough for you to roll on it, but it does count as a very rare item. So your average item wouldn't get you a bonus, but you can still roll. You're not taking a negative to your influence.
That's fine. I'll give it a shot, and if I fail, I'll just try and get some plate. Well, I'm not getting it.
You do have 3 rolls, but you can only get 2 items.
Yeah, but if I wanted to have it be if I fail to get the plate as well, I'm going for my last option of an all specs. Because I need that awareness bonus.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going really wide with most ideas, but I'm still trying to get stuff.
Come on, man. Someone has to pass the requisition checks today.
Nope.
I already passed my last time.
I don't get my
Did we all
plate.
fail?
I've got one last roll.
Come on. Fingers crossed. You can do it.
I believe in you.
I'm just trying to think, do I want to trade something out for an all specs? I don't think there is anything I can actually trade, but well. I failed.
Wow, but
Oh,
you've
right,
actually
so
had
you're-
the lowest roll that we've had for
Sorry, go ahead.
influence at a 43. But still, yeah, you guys.
No, I've once rolled a 4, but
No, so I've been going since
today.
this session. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I know Henry had a howler the last session as well. So yeah, Ghost was the only one who actually managed to requisition anything.
I'm just looking at the rarity of an all specs, because depending on the rarity, I might just go, oh yeah, I would have traded to the end too late, but I would have, and I can feel dumb. Yep, I can feel dumb. It was only scarce. Because I'm willing to bet that like the auto pistol could have been traded. No, the auto pistol couldn't. Oh well. I don't get anything.
So you have, I believe I said it was 2 weeks. So we will essentially roll on 2 weeks. You guys can spend as long thinking about your plans or doing whatever you'd like. If there was anything you wanted to ask the captain, you could have done it during those those 2 weeks.
Once I get better from throwing up and being ill, I apologize for missing the dinner.
Yeah, by all means. I'm sure there'll be another meal at one point, or you can send a personal message along, and he'll get back to you, saying that's perfectly fine. These things, people get sick. He'd rather you rest and recuperate than have your boss have a go at him for something. So yeah, do you all want to go down as different groups, different aliases, and go your own separate way on the world, or would you like to leave it till next time so you have some time to think about it?
Leave it till next time.
Sure. Then you will stop one day. We'll stop the session one day before you actually get to the planet. So if there was anything that you wanted to ask the captain, you will have more than enough time to do so.
Also, I just realised the biggest dum-dum when it comes to getting things. It's a shame we're on Rogue Trader ship and not with the Mechanicus. I don't have to get that Auspex, damn it.
Well, hopefully next time we will, well, at the end of the next mission, where we will see if your interrogator picks you up. He may give you bonuses, who knows, but that will be next time. So I look forward to seeing you all then. Take care everyone, and bye bye for now.